Oh, we're going right now.
Nice. Yeah, that's 2-3
Oh,
seconds.
we are
in.
live, baby. This is it. Welcome to Live for No Reason. It is your boy Mess Hall from Mess Hall Diggs and my co-host.
It's me, babarenz. He keeps calling me Bobby. That's not my name.
B.
He's the only person that says that. I'm telling
Bobby B.
everyone
I'm the
right
only
now.
one. I got sole rights to that Bobby B thing.
He thinks that's a good thing.
And I want to say, first of all, this is our first guest, our first awesome guest we're gonna have, and I'm so grateful that Chef AJ doesn't have a publicist right now, because they would definitely advise against coming on this show with us. But we have Chef AJ in the house, and I want him to introduce himself to all the people in the YouTube verse, man. Let's go. AJ, what's up? Tell us about you, man.
So Albert AJ Smith from Maine. No, this guy from the Army. We go way back. Katrina days, poker days.
Right. That's right. So tell us about your company, the company that you own operator, chef.
Just AJ's Foods. That's what we do. We make it's a vegan foods company. We specialize in like vegan sausage products. So we do links, patties, nuggets, burgers, all that stuff. Anything vegan food, plant-based, we're in. That's us.
And you're in Washington D.C., right? Yep. Washington D.C., the nation's capital. Now, what's the vegan scene like out there?
It's pretty good. Feels like we're kind of the southern tip of the East Coast vegan scene. Get too much further south and it's no go, but everything north is great. Vegan. DC's pretty strong. It's a big culture in DC for plant-based foods, vegan foods. People seem to like it. No, we're not, and we just do like the sausage style, but there's 30, 40 other sort of plant-based companies that are doing different soups and salads and sandwiches, whatever. Just all complete gamut of vegan-based foods or plant-based foods. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So like Chef AJ said, him and I were in the military together. I've known him for about 17 years now.
Sure, I guess so. Yeah.
This is my boy. We're
getting old.
I know last week, me and Bobby B talked about Army stuff, military service. I did talk about Katrina last week, and this man right here, he was with me, man. We were battle buddies, providing relief in Hurricane Katrina, man, feeding whoever wanted to come get fed. We
taking coffee, concentrate shots,
making blueberry pancakes
on an MKT, man. We were feeding the masses. So he was with me. The one vision I'll never forget is driving. You remember driving through Atlanta with the police escort?
Yeah,
we drove from North Carolina to New Orleans with a police escort through Atlanta.
Atlanta,
the highest traffic ever.
What was her name? Sergeant who rolled the trailer in Atlanta rush hour.
Oh, I don't remember.
She had the LMTV with the trailer on back and rolled the trailer in Atlanta rush hour.
Nice.
I remember that.
Sorry, everyone.
The Army, we're here to help.
But we're powering through. We're keeping going.
Yeah, just smoking chaos and red berets, man. Just watch out, we're coming, dude. Yeah, I remember.
Sergeant Miller on the Huey Long Bridge.
Yeah, and then we got yelled at because we didn't unload the bags of our supervisor. Remember that?
Fantastic.
Yes.
You're supposed to set up my tent. Yep.
Yeah, man. It was good times, man.
My bad. Sorry, didn't get the memo.
Yeah, we were there. We provided relief in time of need. America needed us. We were there. So you said you're from Maine. Tell us all about what growing up in Maine was like for you, man.
Oh, it's the good life. It's the way life should be. That's one of the slogans. They got a lot of slogans up there.
It sounds nice from what I've seen.
Pine Tree State. And
how's the lobster? I imagine a bunch of lobster. That's
lobster, right? Sure, yeah. Just when you live in Maine, you just live on a diet of lobster salad, lobster rolls all season long. It's pretty wonderful. You just really don't eat anything other than lobster all the
Nice.
time. No.
It's like us Mexicans with tacos.
Right, yeah, it's a permanent
That's all
taco.
we
That's
eat.
all you eat is taco.
At breakfast, it's just egg instead of meat. That's the only difference.
It's stereotype night on Mess Off Nation.
I know you wanted to monetize, but
no, that's been out the door a long time ago.
my bad. But really, what is the culture in Maine like, if you don't mind? 'Cause like I grew up in a small Texas town, so I actually before I even saw skyscrapers or anything, like I couldn't even fathom what living in a city would be like. So when I hear Maine, like immediately I kind of like get visions of like a early 2000s like drama or soap opera or something like Providence or something, and like it's almost like it's a fantasy land of like a good life, you know.
It was nice. No, don't get me wrong. Like I'll make fun of it all day long, but it was great. Like at the end of the day, like it was. I am.
Hey, it sounds awesome.
Grown up there.
I've heard nothing but good things.
Have you seen a Stephen King movie?
No, I can't say.
But less horror actually in reality, but less dogs attacking you.
That's a terrible way to pitch it. It's like, well, have you seen a Stephen King movie? It's really nice. It's like,
probably less murder than in the actual movies. But,
you're saying Christine is from your hometown.
Yeah, that's all. I was thinking Carrie. I was like,
Carrie,
yeah.
Both of them. Carrie, that was my prom right there. Boom.
That was AJ.
So you were the guy that was
prom date was Carrie. Okay, all right. Now
he was nice to her.
Christine was the car, I think.
Christine was the car.
Yeah, Carrie was
like
the
Chevy Bel Air or something. I don't know.
I forget.
So you said so you guys didn't have any TV, right? No sugar.
No sugar, no TV. Yeah. Like
mom grew plants in the backyard. Y'all lived up
in the back. Mom sewed the clothes. Co-op was up the hill. We go to the co-op every week to get our peanut butter and milk and nuts and berries. Like that's a lot of stuff I remember.
That sounds awesome. Like I could joke around about like not having gummy worms growing up, but like that actually sounds like a way better upbringing.
No, the crazy thing is like trying to tell my kids about this, man. Like my kids now, like imagine if mom like sewed your prom dress together. They wouldn't even go, man. They'd be like, "Nah, I'm good, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't going to prom, man."
Yeah, we had like a big old farmhouse, 1800s farmhouse. My grandfather was a really good carpenter. My mother was from New York, and he was really big into carpentry. He knew how to do everything with carpentry. So they like renovated the house. They just gutted it and rebuilt this farmhouse. So that's where I grew up. We had like an old barn in the back. Eventually it fell down.
Awesome. My bad. If you don't mind me asking, were they all like, is this like part of like old school, like old life Americans, or like were they from another country and they came here, or were they a second generation?
My grandfather on my mother's side, I guess was second generation. He was old. He was like 02. He was born in 1902.
Yeah, I get that.
Like he was old when he was like 40 when he had my mother or something like that. And then, but my father's father was, so grandfather on my father's side was first generation.
I see.
Like Greek, from Greece.
So it was all like actual farm, build your own life kind of blood running through your family already.
Well, so my father's side is like they're from Rhode Island, so they're like
okay.
There's like a big Greek community in Rhode Island. They're
nice.
And then when he met my mom, they left. They did.
Nice.
So yeah, my mom nursed. She was nursing school in Rhode Island. That's how they met. My dad worked for the telephone company. Transferred up to Maine. Yada yada. Had a couple kids.
And then decided to sew her own clothes after all.
Yeah. I'm not sure that's all. I mean,
that's so like bizarre. Stuff, like I guess that's why I was curious, like if these were like things that she knew like growing, because I've heard of that too, where like people are like, oh yeah, growing up we all learned how to knit socks, and we would,
that's definitely from my mother's side of the family. Like my grandmother, her mom was very, kind of self-sustaining.
I see.
Same with
that's awesome, man.
my grandfather, they just do everything yourself and kind of figure it out. It's really nice when you know how to build everything.
All I had was a Nintendo 64 with like no memory card, so like I'd rather knit my own socks and play the same.
Do I do with that now?
Yeah, like you know what I mean.
Life skills.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Is like our grandfathers and great grandfathers, they had all these skills, man, and then like cut to even like me today. I'm trying to put new windshield wipers on my daughter's car. I'm struggling. I was struggling, man. I got it figured out though. I figured it out eventually, but I'm just like, man, do I gotta watch a YouTube video right quick? No, I figured it out. I figured it out, man. I kept it in check. I figured out how to do it.
Hell yeah, holding it down.
Your dad owned a gas station, right? Or a grocery store?
Yeah. He owned like the country store. He retired from the telephone company, bought the town store.
Nice.
Ran that for, I don't know, 10 years or so, sold it, and then they moved to Georgia.
Oh,
he was retired then. Yeah.
How many stoplights were in your town when you got
None.
Zero.
Wow. There's no stoplights in Leeds, Maine. There's
really
stop signs. But that's it. Yeah. I don't know. 2,000 people, I guess. I think
nice.
Our high school was 3 towns.
My high school's 2 towns. Like, and even my town, like I come from a small town that's about 4,000. I think it's probably about 5,000 now.
Big town. You're from a big city.
Yeah. I grew up in a city with
Chloe, what was yours?
People.
How many?
Yes. All right. So here we go. We got this dude from Maine, right? Grew up simple, the simple life, no sugar, eating homegrown plants, which me and Bobby B are all about that. I still grow my own plants. He does too. Obviously, if you look in the background, you can tell he grows his own stuff.
See.
Right. So from Maine, you went to college right after high school, right?
Yeah, I went to Virginia Tech for a year in theory to be an engineer. That didn't work out. I wasn't cut out to be an engineer. Don't have the precision for that, I think. Then went to Bryant in Rhode Island, got a bachelor's from there.
Yeah, in computers, right? Computer engineering.
Yeah, like computer systems or whatever it is. It was. Yeah, I should have done more with that. I graduated in 2001. Probably should have been on track to do something really profitable.
This is what I
really capitalized on that one.
This is what I love about life, though, man. So here you are, you graduate, you got a bachelor's in computers, and you decide to join the army as a cook instead.
Yeah, standard.
Fast forward, you did
your
8-year commitment. You hung out in Katrina with me for a while.
Yeah.
And then you went to the Culinary Institute of America.
Yeah, that was great. That's
the best culinary school in the country by far. They are the best in the country. So what was the Culinary Institute of America like, man?
It was great. It was amazing. Like it's everything that I should have done in college the first time. It was just I was just stupid kid, dumb, not really knowing what college was supposed to be for when I went the first time. So I messed it all up. But like at the CIA, like it's great. Like there are people there that know everything about food. So like anything you want to know about putting food in your body or giving food to someone else, it's there. So, you take all the classes are great. So you learn it's all French cuisine based. So you go through, you do your meat and fish and you learn each station. So, yada yada, all the brigade system in the French culinary system. So you learn all the basics, just how to be a competent professional chef. But then there's everything about the school is centered around food. So every after school extracurricular thing, you can just go and there's a lecture on some guy. This is how you make wine. This is how you make beer. This is how this is truffles, or this is how to grow mushrooms. There's tons of not farming, but growing, how to grow stuff. I guess that's farming.
Yeah, how to grow what farmers do.
There's a word for that.
Yeah, what's that called? But yeah, just beekeeping or whatever you're curious about. There's you just ask someone and there's an expert on it. Oh, he's 2 doors down. Or, you go and, I want to learn about these wines, French wines, just and it can be broad or super specific. So you'll get someone who just knows Rhone Valley varietals, every single one, and knows the makers' names. Or just, hey, I want to learn about red wines, all that, but just so open and just genuinely willing to talk about their craft and their profession. It was outstanding. It's just for someone like me who's going to ask a million questions and just really wants to why. There was oftentimes I run into shut up, just do what I tell you to do, and that's frustrating to me. I don't want that, but at the CIA it was great. There wasn't any of that. It was just answers after answers after answers, or hey, go talk to X, go talk to this chef, go talk to this chef. Outstanding, and can't speak highly enough about it. So it was great.
Yeah, I've heard, like I said, I know a couple people that graduated from that fine institution, and they all say the same thing, man. It's the place to be if you're into food and want to be a chef and want to follow your culinary dreams.
Yep.
Bar none, that is the number one place you need to go. And I've heard the same kind of thing as you could see you see someone walking down, the hallway and be like, hey, what you know about cheese? Oh, sit down, young fella. I'll tell you all about the cheese.
Where do you want to start? What type would you like to know about? All right.
Well, back in 1812.
Yeah.
Pulls out some varieties from his pocket.
Yeah, man. Just
wrapped up.
And that's amazing because
I had a whole week just on tea. Just
nice.
Tea.
That's awesome.
So it's 5 classes, 2-hour classes just on going over teas and different types and what to do with them and how to use it. Just all right. Thanks.
Man, that's great, man. And then so you go from the CIA and you decide to try out the 4 Seasons in Boston, right?
Well, yeah, Boston.
Tell us about Boston a little bit. 4 Seasons in Boston.
Well, that's a little bit of my a little bit of the roots. Those are my sports inclinations are all New England based, so those are my.
Yeah, almost wore my Jets jersey because the Cal Bears, which is my team. That's my team. They got Ashton Davis as their safety. I got an Ashton Davis Jets jersey.
Oh, okay. No.
I was gonna wear it just because but they're not really a Patriots rivalry. But that's what made me second guess.
I don't know
even
if you're rivalry,
left, the Jets
I don't think that's it.
Yeah, but whatever. So yeah, Boston is your roots. So you chose Boston.
Yeah, it was kind of nice to go home. Not home, but I'd never lived in Boston before. But it was nice to go back to regionally. I was familiar with the weather. 4 Seasons, also excellent. I essentially took the job because of the chef. What's his name? Brooke Voska, great guy. We just sat and talked, and just kind of his, style. Just kind of how he approached things. He was just well, yeah, you're going to have to work, but you'll learn a lot of things. And great, that's what I want to do. So he just let, you could work as much as you want and work every station and just kind of, and just learn from everybody around you. They had a really good team there. So you just kind of put your head down, work, and just kind of watch everyone around you and just get better and get better. It was great for me. As someone I started a little bit late. I didn't have a lot of the sort of the professional worked in kitchens before. I went to school and everything, but it was also, this is a great beginning out of school to just kind of go. This is what a real kitchen is like. It's fast. You got to work fast. You got to do a lot of things. You got to be precise. You be on time, and it's a whole different world than house cooking. And it was a great place to work. 4 Seasons, a really good company. Obviously, they charge $1 million for a room, so they can afford it. Yeah. We're just really
ain't cheap. I'll never stay there unless we're getting the
exactly right
discount.
I can stay there, but they're good. It was a really nice place to work. They took care of you, treated you well. They give you some free nights. Coin knows about some free nights, some free champagne.
Nice.
We get to stay in Paris for a little bit. And then I was in Boston for 3 years. Worked through all the stations. Just kind of, after a while, time to move on. But one of the main reasons for me to like even want to cook was I can do it anywhere. I don't need to be tied down to any particular geography. I just want to move around, see stuff, see different cities, different areas. So like being a cook is great. Like you can cook anywhere. Like just move to a city and say, hey, I know what I'm doing. Give me a job, and someone will. So
It's
I
true.
went to Denver. That was my choice.
Denver. Yeah, you went to Denver.
Man, you're all over the place.
Yeah, Denver was great. Except for they don't pay you shit and their rent is expensive. So
yeah, man. You
that doesn't work out well.
followed like the path. My idol, my hero is Marco Pierre White. That's my
Right.
fucking hero.
Was it the Devil in the Kitchen? Is he the devil? What's that?
Yeah, that's his book.
Yeah.
Devil in the Kitchen's his book. Yeah. But he lived that same life. He just went and he knocked on the door. He's like, hey, I can cook. What you got available? And they're like, oh yeah, we need someone to chop onions and tomatoes. He's like, let's do it.
Word.
And then he's like, hey, I want to learn how to butcher meat. So he went and knocked on a butcher shop and said, hey man, you got a job available? I want to learn how to cut up meats. And he's
That's
like,
a real
oh
thing.
yeah.
You can do that. Like that's
Yeah, that's all he did. He just went around, Europe and just knocked on doors and said, hey, I'm ready now. Like, and then, became the youngest Michelin star winner in history or whatever. But that's the path he followed. He just knocked on the door. I have the skills you're looking for. Give me a job, whatever, and he wasn't scared to just approach anybody and say, I have these skills that you need, hire me. And that's what's great about being a cook is you can go anywhere around the country. And if you look in any, your local area, who's hiring, there's always positions for cooks available, always, anywhere, all the time. You can get a job as a cook. That's why I love this profession, man.
Yep. It's true. Just what's your resume right here?
Let
me show you what I can do. You'll be fine.
Give me a challenge. I'll make you something. What you want? What you think, Bobby B? You ever thought about working at a?
Man,
because I know you post a lot of stuff about food, man.
I've had one actual cooking job, and it's a very long story. But long story short, the reason I always, and I've told you this before, that when people are like, "Oh, you're a chef," or like, "Oh, are you a chef?" It's like, no, I would have blown my brains out a long time ago if I had to do what a cook does. Like, I walked out of my only line cooking job. Not only was I not wanting to like tolerate it, but the management was notoriously bad in Austin, Texas as well. Like the dude had a really bad rap, as I would come to find afterwards. Yeah. But after that, I've done like meal preps I'm not into the food scene. And because one of my friends also, he for a long time, he's worked with some of the pretty big apps for delivery. So he would actually take me along in Austin to he's taken me along once before to like photograph food and stuff. So I've been around the culinary world and I know how gritty it is. And so I've always sure to tell people like, I'm just a home cook and that's all I am.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy is because you're so passionate about food and most of your posts are about food and what you made and what you cooked. And
I don't want that passion to go away, and I think an actual cook job will do that to me.
It's true. It's true. You gotta. I felt like just how I've kind of done my thing is, I take blocks off. Like, I'm just gonna do something else for 8 months, year.
Well, honestly, I'm jealous.
Come back, ready to go.
I'm jealous of what you have going on because I think the right way to do it is. For me, for example, the hot sauce endeavor I'm going through right now in Texas, I could legally sell it thanks to the Texas cottage law. So I don't need to do a lot of paperwork or anything like that. But to me, it's kind of like a fine medium where it's like either you like it or you don't, but I still get to represent my taste and something I crafted for you. Right. But at the end of the day, you don't get to tell me, can you do it without onions? Because I'm going to tell you, no, go,
every
mess
day.
yourself up. So.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Being in the Army as a cook, I think was enough for me. I don't, because everybody keeps asking me, and I'm sure, AJ got this a lot, was like, you need to open your own restaurant. You need to open your own restaurant. Like, it's never been a goal of mine, really, ever, because I'll only open a restaurant if I don't need that income to survive.
Right.
That's the only criteria.
It ain't that easy, and you need some money.
Yeah,
I was
if
gonna
my
say-
restaurant fails,
It's a
I'll
different
still be
story.
okay. Like,
I've
that's,
never. Oh, my bad.
go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've never met anyone who owns and runs a restaurant that is a happy person. And I've worked in all natural food like places that supply these things, like really like importing tea and all that. They're all miserable people, and it's the only time you're happy and you own a restaurant is if you have the money to pay someone else to run it for you. And it's like, oh, it went under. Yeah, it's no big deal. Like, yeah, all those people are out of work, and that manager's, like,
Right. Yeah.
I can't do it ever. I've never had a desire to. And the worst part is down here making food and doing meal preps. I have like other fellow sketchy Mexicans approach me. It's like, hey man, I'm going to be selling meal preps out of my business. Like, that's not legal. Do you have have you done this? Do you have it? And they don't. And they're like, they'll hit me up again. Hey man, so are you going to come through next week? And it's like, no, I already told you I'm not going to do that. Like,
dude, that's a big business though, man. I noticed a lot. Especially when I was stationed in Germany, there was a lot of people selling like Puerto Rican food, whatever on the Craigslist of Germany. Like, hey, you want some United States style or Puerto Rican style or California style Mexican food? We sell plates, and it's a Craigslist ad for it. And I mean, they make some good money, man. We had some cooks that I actually worked with in the German defect that were ordering. And this lady would come with like their authentic Puerto Rican food, styrofoam clamshell, and be like, "Here you go, that's $9." And I'm like, "What are you ordering that from?" Oh, we ordering off Craigslist, man.
Yeah, I got it on Craigslist.
I'm not even against it. To me, it more says something when I see those people who it says something about them not having even looked into what it takes to like run a race. It's like it's this fantasy in their head where, oh yeah, man, I make ramen or I make barbecue. It's like, no, you're not going to make a profit. I can already tell that you're dumping more into all this, and you're not calculating anything. It's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah,
and so.
All right, so you went from Boston to Denver.
Four seasons in Denver, cooking up the steaks. Worked at a steakhouse in Denver.
Why did you decide to leave Denver?
Because it was. Rents were skyrocketing, and all your people were moving from the valley into Denver. Everyone was and coming to Denver.
I know what that's like.
Yeah.
You were still with Four Seasons in Denver.
Yeah,
right?
I was in Denver 4 seasons for a bit, and then I wanted to try some new stuff. I had a couple opportunities to work at some pretty decent independent restaurants, which were great. Again, really good experiences, just kind of learned a ton of things, but, as is going to be a refrain in the culinary world, is just didn't pay well. Just that it's that rent to income ratio that's tricky. Denver just got out of control. So it was like, well, my landlord was raising my rent. My pay wasn't going up. I was like, all right, what are my next moves? And I still wanted to move around and just try different things. So I was like, I'm ready. Let's find something new. So, hey, Vegas is 12 hours away. Let's go do that.
Vegas. That's right. I've been waiting this whole show to talk about Vegas, man.
Yes, I was just on a motorcycle, so I didn't have much of a radius. So I've
told so many stories about you. I'm like, I got this man.
You talked about this guy before.
I got this dude that I know that just rides around the United States with a motorcycle, a couple saddlebags, and a backpack, trying to find his way through life. And I think didn't I talk about him on your show?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
This is the man I was talking about.
Great.
The man with the motorcycle riding through the motherfucking United States looking for a fucking spot.
I pictured you a lot meaner. Just
oh, good.
Yeah,
No, I'm not mean at all. No,
All right, so you hop on the damn Yamaha 800 or whatever.
No, Honda Shadow 750, guy.
Okay,
nice. Get it right,
Honda
man.
Shadow 750. Hop
Barely
on the
makes it over the Continental Divide. It was a struggle.
through the snow and mountains of Denver, and you head on down to Vegas, right?
Vegas, yep.
All right, so let's go. Let's get into Vegas, man. This is the thing I want to know all about.
So yeah, well, Vegas, well, you know a lot about Vegas.
I know a lot about Vegas. I don't know anything about working for the best chef in the world in Vegas, like you.
Well, that was 2 years.
Let's go. So you arrive in Vegas. Talk us through it, man.
Oh, I arrived in Vegas and settle up to the 1-2 table.
You decided to become a professional gambler for
we're gonna make this work because that's easy.
Right. So you try your hand at professional poker. You try your hand at professional poker for a little bit, right?
Yeah, we did that. Yeah, year and a half, I guess.
Year and a half as a professional poker player.
Survived, made a little bit of money.
Oh, this wasn't a joke?
Yeah,
no. Oh, wow.
I had a $500 apartment. I paid cash every month, everything included. It was a mile away from the wind, from the strip, from all the good places to play. Yeah, and that's what I did. Ride my bike in, ride my motorcycle in, go play, do a 12-hour session, and go home.
That sounds amazing.
Complained to Coy about all my bad beats on the way home.
I've never done actual gambling, and I'm scared to sometimes. I've seen what it does. Yeah,
you're good.
But that sounds like the life, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of a good pitch, man.
It was something.
Yeah, it's the life if you're one of the guys you see on TV, like Negron or Helmuth or Tom Dwan or whatever. Yeah, they're living the life for sure. But there's the other, 5 million people that are struggling busting it to try to pay rent.
Yeah. How the house makes its money.
For every like AJ used to tell me, for every Tom Dwan, there's 2 million people that never win. So you got to understand those odds, man.
That's why I've never done it, man. It sounds
like I think back in 2005 or something. After Moneymaker won and this big boom happened, they came out with a poker superstars card set and poker chip set.
Yeah.
I mean, there was only 15 of them, so they do a set of 15 superstars out of the 28 million people that play the game. That should tell you the odds of making it big, becoming rich and all that good stuff. Yeah. It's not very good.
It'd be awesome if someone's old vacationing aunt ended up at that table in the top 28. Just proves the odds wrong.
Yeah, so you're trying to do this poker thing and it doesn't work out, right? To the way you want it to be.
Right.
You're not on ESPN yet.
No, man,
you're at the final table at World Series of Poker.
The goal.
What makes you decide to turn back to cooking, man?
I just want to play. I just want to play 5-10 and be a winner at 5-10. Apparently, you need $100K to be a winner at 5-10. You need
100K. You need 100K bankroll for that.
You need the right roll and whatever. I wasn't set up for that.
Right.
Being a cook does not lend you to having ample bankrolls to play 5-10 in Vegas. Unless
you're Mike McDermott, then you only need 30K and you'd be all right.
Exactly.
That's a Rounders reference for everybody out there. If you've never seen Rounders.
If you've never seen Rounders, shut this off right now. Go watch it and come back. There's no point.
Yo, all y'all sports references are going over my head.
No, this is a poker movie.
The same thing. It's grown man stuff.
You need, Bobby B. I'm giving you a direct order, Marine. You need to go watch Rounders, the movie.
Bro, I grew up with Zelda and Scarface, man. That's my shit.
Oh, well, you're right. How old are you? This is a 40-year-old dude.
I'm 28. I actually forgot my age there.
You're 28? Oh, well,
yeah.
Yeah, go watch it. Go look it up on the archives.
Rounders. The archives. Yeah, I'll pull out a VHS.
Be running the 5-10
I'll dust that off.
28. Don't forget your tape rewinding.
Rounders, everybody. Watch the movie Rounders. Matt Damon, Edward Norton, John Malkovich, who's the sleeper best part of the
Toro.
All right, so you're playing poker and you decide turn back to what you know best, cooking, being a chef. Tell us about this transition, man.
It's the ace up my sleeve, man.
No matter what
Hey,
happens,
I
I can always get back to the stove, right?
I can get a job. Yeah, well, right. So no matter where I am, I can get a job. But sometimes you get real lucky and you apply a Robuchon and they say, hey, what's your resume? And you say, this is my resume. And they say, okay, prove it. And you prove it and they give you a job. Yep. Far and away the best place I've ever worked.
Let me stop you right there. So you just said you worked at Robuchon.
Joel Robuchon.
Okay. Talk to us about this mastermind right here.
Put some French on it.
Yeah. Joel Robuchon.
Robuchon.
This little, what are those called?
I just learned that, you know how we all say Sauvignon Blanc?
Yeah.
But in France it's Sauvignon Blanc. They don't say the C in France. Did you know that? Sauvignon Blanc. They don't say Sauvignon Blanc.
There's a G in there. I know there is.
It's Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, there's a G in there.
So, Robuchon, tell us about this guy. Who's this guy?
He's a chef of the century, man. He had 20 Michelin stars.
20 Michelin stars.
For real. He may have
20. What's a Michelin star? Let the people know.
Jesus Christ. What kind of level are we at here? So Michelin, they make tires. Michelin is a tire company. But what uses tires? Cars. Cars use tires. Who drives cars? People who are driving around looking for a place to eat. So
customers use cars.
The company that sells you tires is also going to sell you their guidebook on where to go.
That's right.
And so that's where it started, and then it grew into this very prestigious French restaurant system where they rank. I think it just started in France.
Wait, this isn't a bit either?
Huh?
This isn't a joke either?
No.
In other words,
my God.
If your restaurant has a Michelin star, you're being recognized as the best restaurants in the country.
I'm familiar with the Michelin star, but I didn't realize it actually came
in
part because of the tire company.
That was the original inception.
Yeah, it's a marketing thing to get people.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I thought it was like the ancient Michelin who was like a philosopher who just so happened to know how to cook. Then I never looked him up or something.
No, it was just
nice.
Buy new tires.
Yeah. Buy new tires and check out this restaurant while you're in town.
It's like Kingsford barbecue,
right? Yeah, it'd be like the Kingsford wood.
Yeah, it was the wood that they.
Yeah, go tour the forest for Kingsford. But that's how it started. But now it's the preeminent kind of way to rank quality restaurants. It's a 3-star system, 1, 2, 3. Each star is represents something. I think I may be wrong with all this, but this could be a lie. But let's just say that, I think 1 star, the first star is based on your food and your sort of the plating and how everything presents, tastes, looks, feels, smells. And then there's one that I think the 2nd star is for your service, and then one is for like the ambiance and kind of the entire infrastructure of your cheese list and your yada bread and everything. But yeah, it's a 1, 2, 3 star system. 3 being very exclusive. Not too many. There's I think there's probably 20 restaurants in the U.S. now that have maybe not even that many that have a 3-star. Unsure. There's
not that many, man. Yeah. I know only of a couple off the top of my head. I think like Dominic Cran in San Francisco has one.
Alinea is always a.
Was like the Fat Duck, or what's the Fat Duck at? Or that? No, Madison Park. Madison Park in New York has 3, I think.
I love Madison Park, La Bernardin.
Yeah.
I know what's his name. Crocs, Mr. Crocs. Who's the guy?
Batali.
He had a couple.
And what about Grant? Does Grant have any?
Grant, yeah, Alinea.
Alinea has 3, right?
And then, my upstairs, I got the aviary cookbook upstairs.
Oh, you do?
I do.
We were there, man. Me and my boy went to the aviary, man.
The portal, awesome. Portal drink. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
So what's it like? What's it like working for?
By the way, Grant, what's his name? A-Cats?
A-Cats or A-Cats.
A-Cats. Yeah.
Alinea and Avery. 2 restaurants.
Check out some of his spots.
Granite Cats. Yeah.
He's awesome. He's like one of the best chefs in the
Yeah,
world.
dude. Yeah, dude had fucking tongue cancer. Stage 4 tongue cancer, was gonna die. He's a chef and can't taste anything and beats it somehow. And then here we are, Granite Cats, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
So you're working for one of the chefs of the century. Tell me what that environment's like, man. What's that environment? Because I'm already like getting chills and goosebumps.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man.
In that kitchen.
So
how do you work in that kitchen of one of the chefs of the century?
It's at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas.
MGM Grand Vegas.
It's their kind of.
You got a plaque. You got a plaque on the wall. Employee of the month. AJ
No, I don't.
No, oh, man.
No. Well, one of the best parts about working there was that the quality of coworkers, like everyone who you work with there is got game. They know what they're doing. Like you just kind of like you got any questions, just kind of look to your left, your right, and like, oh, that's how you do it. And like,
yeah, you like stage cues, right? Stage cues in the kitchen. Did they call you grandpa? Did they call you grandpa over there at all?
No, because
there's no grandpa talk.
No grandpa talk.
All these 21-year-old wizards in the kitchen, dude.
It was an elderly community there, actually. There was cooks of age were there. I was median age. I was right in the middle.
That's good, man. That's good.
But so it's all French brigade. Everything is
all French.
All French. Everything is orders come in French. Everything is the
nice.
Chef and majority of the sous chefs are all French as their first language.
That's crazy, man. So
that's
pick
awesome.
up all these French words. You pick
all the recipes are in French, and so it's good that I can vaguely recall my 2 years of high school French to like piece together some nouns that I'm. Oh, that's a fish.
Konnichiwa.
Right. Exactly. Well, the funny thing is, one of the halfway. I worked there for 2 years, and kind of halfway through, the head chef was Japanese. They switched out, and he still everything was in French.
Yeah,
so it was weird. Like he was French trained, worked in France for a long time, but was born in Japan. Just amazing. Everybody, just amazing chefs. Like just the precision and the requirements, like the demand for everything to be perfect every time was just such a change. Like I worked in like pretty decent restaurants for some pretty nice chefs, but it was just a sort of a completely different level of requirements. So it just you just had to be better. Like there wasn't any, you couldn't not. Like we used to have this one of the, everything had like a million components to it, but one of them was like this. So it was called like a bird nest egg. I forget my French now, but essentially it was like a plate with some like creme fraiche and some dots. There's lots of dots involved. Lots of dots. I think it was like a some kind of chlorophyll based dot, and then but it was like a soft poached egg wrapped in mille-feuille, which is like the it's like a thin flour. Let's see, what would be the example?
Like a phyllo,
like a phyllo dough-ish, but like one layer.
Yeah.
And you cut it up, and you make like these little like strips that kind of you put the egg in it, and you make like a basket. It looks like an egg in a basket, kind of like in its nest. And you put some caviar on top with some gold leaf and.
Just casually put caviar on it.
Casually 20 grams of caviar.
5 grams of accessories.
But it was always wrong. Like I thought they'd come out right. Like I take all my time. Like you have to like perfectly fry it. You have to use 2 spoons and like make the indents so it fries and has like everything comes up and everything. And like, man, it was months and months before like I'd get like no. Like everything I made would just get sent back, and then someone else would have to like, all right, Tayshawn, go do that. You make it, and like so. All right, I'll go back to plating something.
Nice.
It took forever. They finally oh, that's a good one. And that was it. Like, but that's like the biggest win ever. Like, wasn't
Yes, dude.
like getting yelled
We
at.
have finally accepted you, man. You were.
It wasn't like there was no moment. It was just like, okay, someone ate it. Like he sold it. Like it went out. Like, oh great, that was mine.
Yeah, you do your little dance in the kitchen, man.
I finally met.
So that's a hell of a bullet to have on your resume, man. Working for
and
that.
the coolest kitchen, like immaculate, like nothing on the floor, like nothing. There's no trash, nothing. It's just perfectly clean counters. Like you could literally you could eat off the counters. Like you would like grill a steak on the flat top. You sear the steak and immediately clean it. So the flat top was silver always. Like, from 2 minutes after something was cooked on it, it was cleaned immediately. Perfect. Wow. It was just that kind of kitchen. It so cool to have worked there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the highest standards. There's no cutting corners. There's no anything, and the recipe is the recipe, right? Like you can't deviate or be creative.
Yeah, there's zero creativity.
Look what I did. I added
no creativity. You do not get to express yourself or let's try this. No, it's written there. It's been written there for 50 years. It is God said that.
Yes. Don't you dare mess with my recipe, man.
Yeah, I met Robichon and he's got a couple lieutenants that follow him around. Yeah.
His posse, man. He got his
posse. He's got a 2-person posse. He's tiny. He looks like the Emperor from Star Wars.
I've read one of his cookbooks, man. Yeah.
World's got these creepy hands. And he doesn't speak at all. He just kind of floats around the kitchen. He just kind of looks at you, doesn't say a word, but 5 minutes later, he's told someone else that comes back and tells you all the things you just did wrong.
He force chokes you from the other room.
Yeah, it's called Robichon Week.
That Darth Vader thing.
His hands are clean, but you definitely get choked out.
Yes. All right, so here you go, man. You're working for one of the best chefs of all time, one of the chefs of the century.
No, not one of. There's only one chef of the century.
Okay, the chef of the century. He's the chef of the century. You're working for him.
Yep.
What makes you decide, nah, I'm good. Time to go. What tell me about that point in your career where you're like, nah, it's time to go.
Yeah, I'm probably not the smartest part of my brain. Because Vegas is great. So like I said, I had a one bedroom house for $500 a month. And you get paid pretty well. Vegas is a union town. So cooks make really good money working at the hotel. But yeah, my genius brain's fuck it, I'm out. I'm gonna go to DC where you can pay nothing and rent is 7 times as much in Vegas in DC as in Vegas. 7.
Yes. It's not cheap, man.
7.
Yes.
But yeah, because I'm a brilliant person, I decided to do that. I wanted to be close to my family. My sister's in Virginia. My mom was moving up to Virginia. So that was I did my kind of tour of the country, working around 10 years. It was just, my parents getting old. So I wanted to at least be a little closer, somewhere closer. DC seemed cool. It's basically throwing a dart at the map. What's close? Yeah, DC sounds cool. Let's try there. I didn't do the whole cost of living analysis that I should have. DC's insane. But yeah, come to DC and work for. I got a job working at. We're running Eat Bar, which is it's a steak and burger place. But they gave me the keys to the kitchen. So here, it's yours. You go do whatever you want. So I get to I got a kitchen of my own for the first time, which is really cool. I got to change it around. Created the falafel waffle, which is my
That's your claim to fame.
Everything that I did.
That's your claim to fame. The falafel waffle.
The falafel waffle.
Hashtag.
Hashtag falafel.
I remember when you texted me. When you texted me, you're like, dude, I got control of the kitchen. I can create a menu. I was like, this is it, dude. This is it. Like you're a made man now. You're like the executive chef. You make all the decisions. You can do all the menu you want to. You got keys to the kitchen. My boy has made it. But no.
There's more brilliant decisions.
There's more.
It never ends, bro. We had a whole Star Wars like story arc in here and everything.
Yeah, dude. It's just like you hit these fucking the highest pinnacles of your life. It's like, nah, there's got to be
not for me.
Something else.
Success is just not my thing.
Yeah, right.
Success ain't my thing. I gotta try to fail some more.
Just hanging out. We'll do something different.
Yeah. So here you are. You're the man. You got control of everything. You got the kitchen. You got the menu. You're doing this. So what happens after that?
Well, so
go ahead, man. I want to get into the mind of Chef AJ. This is going to help everybody out.
Great. So yeah, right. So they get in the kitchen. Great. I don't want to get into too much of the nitty gritties of the whys and the who's in the hows, but I enjoyed working for Nate and who hired me. He was a partner in the restaurant group that owned the restaurant.
Right.
He was great. Others not so much. So fuck you, I'm out.
So how much of it was, yeah, this is mine, but it's not really mine?
Right. A lot of
there was some of that, right?
A lot.
Yeah.
Part of it is, yeah, I mean, I've always had that in the back of my head for sure.
Right.
Like, how am I going to get to do my thing? Like, I think so many cooks are like that. Like, yeah, ideas. And then you like, man, I'm giving all these away. Like, I'm just doing it for you. Like, and still making my $18 an hour. Like, fuck, this is not, like, no,
right. Because as soon as you created the falafel waffle, that belongs to them now. That's not yours anymore, right?
Yeah,
that's theirs now, right?
If they can figure out how to do it.
He can still make the falafel checkerboard.
Like if I owned mess hall restaurant and Chef AJ was my executive chef, made all the decisions, the falafel waffle's on mess hall's menu. It's not on Chef AJ's menu. It's on my menu. And now it belongs to me now, right? So if you leave, I'm still going to serve it on my menu. I just got to figure out something.
It's going to be whatever crap you put up.
Yep. Yeah, because I remember.
It's still mine. It's still up here. It's in here.
Because I remember when, because Granite Cats used to work for
right
Chef Keller in California.
Mm-hmm.
And he came up with this dish that's one of Chef Keller's biggest selling dishes. But Granite Cats created it.
Right.
But it doesn't matter.
Nope.
It belongs to Chef Keller. It doesn't belong to Granite Cats. So once he moved on to do his own thing, that recipe belongs to Chef Keller now. That's his recipe.
Hey, he approved it.
Yeah, so that was So I learned.
Yeah, that's the whole. I mean, like food, and like proprietary whatever. You can't patent food. Yeah, it's a weird game. Like, there's nothing really new in food. Like everything's been done. Like, there's nothing new. Everyone is doing variants on. Yeah,
renditions, renditions of old recipes.
Well, okay, that man may be doing some new shit. Like, he's special genius.
Yeah. He's making strawberries taste like tomatoes.
Yeah. So I don't want to.
I saw some half cows, half chickens in that freezer, and
yeah,
he's onto something big.
Maybe okay. The mortals are not making anything new. Like that man can, and there's some very special people who can, with very special budgets, can do that kind of thing.
Lots of support.
But the rest of us we're all tweaking shit that's been, around for at least 200 years, right? Like, so it's that's the constant struggle is like, how do I be original? How do I make something new? How do I set yourself apart? Like, what is my, specialty?
My signature dish or whatever.
10 million people can cook a fish perfectly. Cool, like it tastes delicious, and there's always a spot for it, but I kind of want I don't know. I wanted to try to do something different, like try to do something new.
Yeah,
it's really hard in food. Like it's really challenging is to be new, and I'm not. like I'm not, nothing that I do is new. It's just kind of new.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So let's get into the business at hand, the business you're in now.
Yeah.
You own Just AJs, which is a vegan sausage. I'm gonna call it a company for now. We'll call it a company. So I know you decided to go out on your own, and just from knowing you for so many years and all the fabulous restaurants we got to eat together.
Yeah.
Because you're the one that introduced me
That's the way
to
to live life. That's how you travel, just eating.
I don't eat a steak unless it's blue.
Amen.
This is the guy who doesn't eat a steak unless it's blue. So you decide to go out on your own, and I want to know why you chose the vegan route when you decided to go out on your own.
Well, because it matches two things in my life, right? So it matches food. So obviously it has to be like my skills, my talents lie somewhere in food. Like that's where I'm trained. I can do something like I'm better than most people at food, right? So like I have an advantage in food. So it's got to be something in food, and I always and just doing something that will improve us. So we'll make it better for humanity. Like so, always had kind of an environmentalist kind of bent to my view of the world. Just I feel like I don't know where it began, but I guess in Maine. So clothes and grown food. Just like there's a good way. Like there's a better balance. There's something that we can do that just will improve. So I'm going to do it through food. I'm going to try to make my impact through food. How can I do that? What's the biggest environmental impacts? In the food world, it's cows, right? It's big animals. It's animals that consume a lot. That it's just this really inefficient system of delivering sun's energy to a human. So like it's, there are certain things about a cow, like eating a ribeye. That's a unique experience, that you only get from eating a cow. But there are so many other things, sausage, burgers, ground meat, all these other things that are so like not so unique or unreplicatable that you actually need the animal for. So there are plenty of ways to do it without the animal. Sausage being a very specific, very universal one that everyone knows what sausage is. There's a million different applications for sausage, but you're not actually like appreciating the animal. You don't necessarily need the animal. Like you've got this fatty protein kind of savory thing that has a bunch of spices in it, certain specific flavors, usually some smoke, all these other elements that are kind of ancillary to the animal. Like you can do all of these things in so many different ways without the animal. You don't need that thing that's just being very wasteful and just doing this so many I think it's the Great Blue Sea was probably the book that I read that was it's all about the oceans and sort of how we abuse the oceans. And there was this whole part on it about this giant sort of shadow over the Gulf of New Mexico, this kind of dead zone that's caused by all these farms in the American Midwest. That's just in America. It's all this fertilizer going through just how it's just one little aspect of how we abuse our planet, and that's just in America. And every country does it. It's not a thing to blame. It's just a thing to fix.
I get that.
Yeah. So it was that's where this company starts from. It starts from a very environmental perspective of how can I help? How can I fix? What can I do to use my skills to change something that I really think needs to be changed? It's an existential threat. I mean, it's one of these things that like dinosaurs were here for a long time until they weren't. We have no unique right to existence. we have to, we have to continue to defend our right to exist.
Yeah.
So part of that is having air to breathe, having water to drink, and so we have to be able to be conscious and know what we can do to make positive changes to the things that we either knew or didn't know about in the past that we made mistakes on. So that's just my mission. So
I understand it. I think a lot of good things come from just being a little more conscious, even if you're fully aware that you're not going to make a huge difference right away. I think just showing people hey, yeah, it's plant-based and it's good. You couldn't, I think that kind of opens people's minds a little bit more to, oh, you mean I don't have to eat a cow all the time. I don't have to rely on factory farming,
Right. Yeah. And there's here's an option.
Tastes good. Precisely.
Right. Also, it tastes good. And the only argument against eating a plant-based sausage would be versus an animal sausage is taste, right? Taste.
Yeah.
Sensory experiences and texture, right? But if you can recreate that, okay, so now present your argument for eating that pork-based sausage.
Yeah.
This one tastes just as good. You get the same love, same experience in the morning, whatever. So why do we raise 100 million of these pigs and kill them and poison our water? Didn't have to.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the weird thing for me is, growing up in I guess roughneck cultures or always around working men is if you eat dehydrated carrot sticks or something in front of them, they'll look at you as oh, why? They look at you you're some kind of feminine boy or something. It's bro, you eat potato chips all the time. That's a plant-based deep fried potato. You're so disconnected from reality and how we eat
that, right? It's just a it's a trap.
It's so weird to me that men usually men think that way.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'll never get it.
I not fight it, but I experienced that challenge of convincing that guy who's convincing my father to eat a vegetarian meal, right? He's meat potatoes, 1950s, he's Hungry Man dinner, yada yada, perfectly happy with all that, every meal of the week for all he can say, but it's convincing that mentality that there's another way. You're not going to suffer. It's okay.
Amen.
But you have to it's a constant thing, and there are ways to do it.
Certainly.
Maybe I don't. Fuck, do I know?
Yeah, no. I mean, I've met some people who are completely against it, but those people are also not the smartest. So.
It's hilarious that just irrational. Nope.
Yeah.
I only eat animals. Well, what the fuck? What is that? Have you tried it before? Nope. I refuse to ever try anything.
I've made up my mind.
Didn't have a pulse. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, that's crazy because most of the time I'm trying everything because I want to see. Yeah. It's just like the customer, man. If it tastes good, they're gonna come back. I mean, it's just. I mean, I was in Thailand. I drank cobra's blood. I ate geckos.
That's a whole other level,
I
bro.
ate cobra meat.
Well, you tried it.
I just wanted the experience. That's something new. I've never had that before. People are just less adventurous, man. I think.
Don't get boring on me.
Yeah, don't get boring. Just it's like they say when you go to a restaurant, never order the chicken because it's the most boring part of the chef's repertoire, right? Order something that you've never had before. You're paying the big money. Eat something you've never had before. You're paying the money.
Yeah, people
my wife always gets the chicken strips, no matter where we're at. Whatever version of the chicken strips are available, let me get them chicken strips. Come on, order something, And I gotta ask Gordon Ramsay, hey, what's your version of chicken strips you got over here, man? That's what my wife wants. No, man, order something that the chef's known for,
Yeah. What do we have at the Mesa Grill, man?
The Mesa Grill, man, we had everything.
Everything.
we got one of everything on Bobby Flay's menu. One of everything.
That was great. It was so good.
It was awesome.
That was one of the.
That's why I still to this day
top 5 meal of my life, right there.
I defend Bobby Flay from everyone. Everyone wants to talk all this shit about Bobby Flay.
Yeah, right. I've had to defend him.
I defend him every time. I'm like, dude, you don't know, man.
I don't care.
You don't know, man. That was one of the best meals I've ever had in my life. Mason
They don't like his attitude, right? That's what it is, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it?
Like he's kind of a D-bag or whatever.
Yeah, but still, I mean, who cares, dude?
Yeah, no, I kind of. I'm
not there to play. I'm not there to fucking play party games with him.
Yeah,
I'm there to eat his food. I don't care what he's like as a person.
Yep. So long they're not
make me a good
people.
meal. That's all I care about.
I'm good.
Yeah, there's a line, and there needs to be an adjustment. So like I've left several jobs just because fuck you, I'm not dealing with your shit. Like,
yeah, precisely.
I don't.
But if someone's mean, but they get the job done efficiently, yeah, like that's your fault if you can't deal with it for the most part. Like so long they're not harassing you or making a hazardous work environment. Like
there's a right way. Yeah, you got to be on your people. You got you're going to be persistent. You're going to be It's not harassing it, but it's hey.
Yeah.
Can you do better? Can you do better?
Every Bobby Flay recipe I've seen, I adore. So like but I've always seen people in comments and stuff like going off, but it's never about the food, and that's what I'm saying. Like you guys are obviously in that actual world. I'm just some spectator who likes eating and looking at people cook. So.
Well, and that meal specifically, so many meals, so I always say, like, I'm never gonna like cook your grandmother's food. Like I'm never gonna try to replicate whatever your grandmother gave you. Like. Because food is like it's an experience thing. So like whatever world you're in, whatever mindset you're in at the time you eat a certain meal, whatever your favorite meal is, you're in some unique frame. You had a nice day, and then you went with your parents, and you went out to this meal, and you had ice cream after, and a nice sunset or whatever it was. Like all of that contributed to your impression of that meal. So like I know like Coy and I we had a great day. And it was that whole day, and then that meal was a celebration. We went and we bought everything, and then bought some bottles of wine. Like it was a kind of an encapsulation of a wonderful day. So that like highlights our meal. So like all meals are tainted by that kind of everything else that's not just the food. So you got to it's a constant worry of mine is like.
No, I totally get it. I think that's exactly
before you eat my food.
Right. Yeah. But I think the important thing that we talked about last week too was when you go to a restaurant and there's a famous name on the door or whatever. The thing I love the most about it is they're giving themselves to you on a plate. Like this is me. This is my version. This is what I do. And like whether you like it or not, it's kind of up to you because they're not going to change it. I remember when we're at Mesa Grill. There's not salt, pepper, hot sauce. None of that stuff's on the table. It's like, here it is, man. This is my shrimp tamale. If it's too salty for you, go fuck yourself. That's how I do my shrimp tamale. Like, this is my shrimp tamale. And I love that about chefs, man. They don't care. If you go to Noma, they're going to serve it to you the way they serve it to you. Eat it, don't eat it, pass on it. It doesn't matter to the chef. It's like, this is my course. This is my 24-course meal. These are my creations. This is me giving it to you. Don't really care what happens next. I got your money already.
See, that's what I want to do as a
review. Like whatever you want to do, it doesn't matter. This is me. And I love that cockiness sometimes of what chefs think. Like, this is my creation. This is my version. This is my whatever. Take it or leave it. Doesn't matter. This is me, and as long as you don't change for anybody, I think that's the key, man. Like, of course, I would be honest with Chef AJ because I got to sample all the vegan sausages that he sent me. The Jamaican one being my favorite, of course. The Italian one was really good. We made an omelet with it. But like the Jamaican one's my favorite, no doubt. The other two were good.
It's classic.
But the Jamaican one was my favorite. And like I said, that's the one like I would recommend everybody gets. You know what I'm saying? But I think Bobby B, what you got? What you got for AJ about his vegan sausages, man?
Well, I would rephrase that term. I will ask you about your food products. But
Food products.
so what actually you see? How do I say this? I don't respect vegans. No, I'm playing. I have tremendous respect for vegans. I think what bothers me sometimes is the vegan culture trying to replicate food. And what I like about your product is basically my biggest gripe about the things that replicate meat is that they use soy protein or like some other like textured vegetable protein, and it's so dry, it's so dense. It doesn't even feel like something I should be eating, especially when you put it in a cylinder like that I have to bite out of a bun. So I saw your ingredient list and I saw that you use pea protein. And so
amazing thing. It's an amazing product.
Yes, and I was blown away. I was like, yo, someone is finally catching on to that. Like soy protein is gross. Don't shape it in a chicken wing. Don't shape it into burger patties. Find other like basically what I loved about your product was that it didn't sound like a vegan sausage. It literally just sounded, oh, it's just a vegetable in a sausage. It's a vegetable sausage. And I loved the concept of that because that's like, you could put that in anything. You really can. It's just convenient. Phallic shapes, I guess, are just convenient for food. So
that's what we say. Like we just stole the convenient shape of a sausage, but kept the vegetable flavors. Like,
yeah.
There's whatever 7 animals that we eat, and they all have a very similar flavor.
Yeah.
But there's 10,000 plants and vegetables that you can make all of these. We have 4, but there's a million combos that you can make. Like, and it's infinite.
Yes.
There's so many just cultures that have all these different flavors. People have been doing it for thousands. Obviously,
yeah, that's what I always tell people. There's been vegetarians for thousands of years that have fought wars and done.
They know how to make something tasty. Like,
amen.
So like it's just kind of embracing that and like just using different like groupings of flavors. Like we started off the 3 that we have are really they're pretty basic in my mind. So we have like Italian, which is like
buffalo, Italian, Jamaican.
Yeah, buffalo. So it's like a starter kit of
I mean, you're hitting the demographics though. Like you're playing it smart, bro.
Spicy, kind of mild spicy, not spicy, functionality. But there's so many more. Like we have like we're rolling out like our Polish sausage. So it's apples, cabbage, sauerkraut, caraway. So it's like Polish flavors, but in a sausage. But they're still all fruit and veggie based. So it's just like a different way of doing it. And there's a million of them. Like we will never run out of flavor ideas.
Yeah, you really can at that point.
Plenty of plants to kill.
So if you don't mind me asking, what was the like worst experimental? Like, was there any one that you made in the kitchen that was like, oh, this is horrible. I need to burn this. I need to get rid of it.
There's a bunch of them.
Was there any that ring in your head of like, this was bad? We're doing this again.
Two of them kind of stand out. We did a beet and orzo one.
I had a feeling I was going to be beet. That's such a hard profile to compare.
I love beet. Like beet's so great. It's like this earthy, sweet kind of flavor. And then we did the orzo. It has this cool red, vibrant.
I'm not familiar with orzo.
Huh?
I'm not familiar with orzo.
It's just pasta. It's a little pasta.
Oh, okay.
Pasta that looks like a rice. It looks like rice, but
exactly.
I think I know what you're talking about now.
So we did that. This was our gluten-free stage. This is still
nice.
This is super early on. I was just making random stuff. And it didn't come out. It just came out just straight beet. Like
noodle beet.
Yeah, and then I made a mac and cheese one.
Oh God.
Which like I thought
everybody loves mac and cheese.
Did you use nutritional yeast for that one or what?
Sure did. Yeah. Of
course.
I thought it'd be like cool for the kids. Nah. Mac and cheese is fine, just as mac and cheese. In a bowl. You don't need a hot dog.
Yeah.
Taking a shot. I'm gonna hit the kids. I know I gotta find one for the kids.
Yeah, the beet one sounds reasonable. If you would have pitched the mac and cheese to any reasonable price, I think they would have shot that one down.
Yeah,
right off the bat.
We had it. Like I think I brought it. Like it was in like actual service for less than a month. Like it was.
So it made it into someone's hand. Someone has that experience.
Yeah, there's probably.
Oh my God,
that's 100 people have tried it. And
nice. Let's get them on the show.
We're still with us.
I gotta get them on next.
you might have lost some people.
Did you have comment cards for those, man? Like, what do you think? You got?
No,
they didn't even turn them in. They didn't have the heart to do that to him.
Oh man!
I knew there was issues. we still hadn't figured out the texture yet, so we were still had a little softest texture. We've got our snap down pretty well now, but that was pretty figuring that one out.
That's awesome though. That's my favorite part about like hearing cook stories is like what went wrong. Like I think that's always yeah.
I love that. I love the just the trial and error, just experimenting. Just why not try it? I'll taste it. Oh, that's terrible. Like no.
Yeah,
what do you think? No, that's horrible.
The biggest embarrassment I did was one time in Austin. I was around all my foodie friends, food photographers, and everything. I was making an El Pastor, doing the best I can. And I guess the problem I did was not only did I incorporate like fresh ground pineapple to like break it down, but I had actually over tenderized it.
Oh, it fell apart.
It was worse than we call it meat paste. That's the meat paste.
Yeah.
Because literally it was sharp, like, it looked good on the outside, but the second we actually went to poke it, it was just like meat pudding. It was I was so embarrassed being around like all these hipsters, and like they were super cool about it because we've all made like terrible food, and that's part of like hanging out. But
how quickly did they recognize what caused the problem?
I recognized it right. I had a feeling that I had already I didn't realize a pineapple would break it down that much.
Yeah, pineapple and papaya are very specific in that way. They'll mess it up real quick if you don't use it right.
Yes, I've opted to using yogurt if I'm going to do anything like that.
Yeah,
that works fine for me.
It's slower.
Yeah.
Much more.
I had that experience with cheesecake. So cheesecake's my favorite. My favorite thing on the planet. That's my favorite thing ever.
Pineapple cheesecake?
No. So I decided we went to the culinary competition in 2016 or something, and I wanted to make a crustless cheesecake. That was my goal. I want to make a caramelized white chocolate crustless cheesecake.
That sounds awesome.
And I made like a cherry moonshine sauce. And I had like a carrot ice cream. I was just like the craziest concoction thing.
Sounding ambitious.
Carrot ice cream, man.
So I spent like a good 30 days getting to the point where I could get the cheesecake crustless, and it was we did them in like little like rectangles almost. And I like, when I plate food, I like it being just all spread apart and artistic, and you take a spoon and drag it through everything, and that's the ultimate spoon. We call it the ultimate spoon, right?
One bite.
So I get to the competition, we make this thing, it turns out perfect, just how I want it. Like, I'm proud as shit. Like, this is the best thing ever. We had like spicy pumpkin seeds as the crunch. It was like the dumbest, weirdest concoction thing ever.
It's delicious, man.
So the judges, like, they clean their plates. Like, every plate I see is just gone clean. And so they sit down with us and they're like, so why did you make a crustless cheesecake? And I'm like, because why not? That's why. Why not? They're like, well, you can't make a cheesecake without a crust. That's just not how food works. I'm like, actually, there's like Granite Cat says, there's no rules to food.
Yeah.
There's no rules. What are you talking about?
Tell me how food works.
Like, yeah, we had to take away a couple points because there was no crust for your cheesecake. I said, but
what's because you're cooking in the army, man?
The spicy pumpkin seeds were the crunch. They made up for the missing crust. They're like, no, that was just an added component. Your dessert was missing a crust, which doesn't verify as a paste.
My God.
I'm just sitting there looking at them. I'm like, okay, whatever. They're like bronze. You get a bronze medal, and I'm just like,
ooh.
Like, you know how long we worked on this thing, man? Like, it's forever to
like all those things.
One, caramelized white chocolate without burning it is tough, especially when you're using an MBU burner. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was terrible, man. It was like the most deflated thing. I was like,
that sucks, man.
God, dude, like, all because there wasn't a crust.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
And that's why I just kind of gave up on the Army culinary world. I was like, okay, obviously, like,
the
this
a bunch
is
of
no
old
space
heads.
for like visionary, like vision, like dreams style things, right? Like we gotta do what Chef AJ does. Just go out and just. I'm making a mac and cheese beanie, bro. Here it is. You know.
This is a crustless mac and
But
cheese.
yeah, they're like, no, man. If you're gonna make a cheesecake, it has to have a crust. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't have to have a crust.
My whole thing is
these rules, man.
If they're gonna critique you on that, they could just say like, "Oh, the texture I would have preferred if it had a crust," rather than like, "Yeah, this doesn't dictate my my definition."
You can't call this a cheesecake because it doesn't have a crust. I'm like, what are you talking about? Is this some Escoffier shit? Like 1742 rules that I didn't read over.
Bless it as crust cheesecake.
Escoffier says it's not a cheesecake if it doesn't have a crust.
Well, I mean,
nice. It's not even called a crust cake, you know.
But whatever. It was fun. We made it. It's all good. It was delicious.
Also like carrot ice cream.
And the thing about it is, because of me, you know how I am. I said, well, it looks like all the plates are clean. Must have tasted
right, exactly.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it was delicious. It just doesn't,
what are we talking about then?
I'm like, what's the point? Like, you guys would come back to my restaurant to get this dessert.
I just scam for free cheesecake.
Yeah, so it was insane, man. And that's when I figured, like, F the rules, man. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. That's why I respect my boy AJ. Just do what you want to do. Create something, put it out to the world. This is me. This is me on a plate, like we talked about earlier. This is what I do. And like my biggest belief is your people will find you, man. Your people will find you.
Yeah, I definitely think you're onto something good, AJ. Like I don't even know you, obviously, but I like what you're doing, man. Like I like it a lot. It's like it's one of those things that's easy to overlook, but that means it's easy to get people to see it. But you're doing it in a way where clearly you've thought about your product, and I think that's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
because like you said, you can't do anything new, but you got to do it different, and you're definitely like I see that in just by looking at your ingredients and your packaging. Like it's awesome, man. So
yeah, again, fuck the plants.
Yeah, dude. So that was another thing that we were talking about earlier. Ness, do you have anything to say so I could talk about this real quick?
No, I want you to go ahead, man.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna run to the restroom. Actually,
yeah, go for it. So something that I often wonder about is life is a really cruel thing, and I like to think at the end of the day, pain and suffering is more in our nature than anything else. And this illusion of having a good time, that's all it is. It's the illusion. And so I like to think what makes plants any different. And so when people are like, oh, plant-based this or plant-based that, I remember seeing studies that kind of suggest that plants can actually hear when they're being bit into by insects and actually release the same amount of chemicals. Or I'm not sure how plant biology works, but I know some of them respond in a certain way.
Sure. Yeah, there are some sentient
traits or qualities in plants or things that we can. Yeah. And so I wonder if we can ever scientifically prove that to where it's like, oh yeah, plants are fully aware and we've discovered that while they don't have pain receptors, they have this and that. So, and it makes them aware of this in some way that's probably similar to a sensation of pain. And so it's like, oh, so we're cutting the grass and we're literally committing genocide on these patches for all these blades, every single thing we harvest. Could you imagine how celery feels when it's this root, a parent structure at the bottom, grows these stalks, and then here we come, just cut it off, cut its children and take it and put it in.
There's tons of some of the oldest living structures on the planet are trees
plants, yeah,
based, and there's lots of fungus based.
Fungus is a whole other
that communicate. There are trees that communicate through the root structures.
There
are there's plenty of possibilities that plants can sense. Well, they definitely can sense things. Perceive pain, unsure, I guess. My non-scientific view of this.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. But what if, do you think if scientists do confirm a full study, full published report that's so all peers have reviewed it and they agree plants feel pain, do you think it would change the vegan or the plant-based industry, I should say? Or do you think plant-based would still be a thing, or would that
change me? I imagine it would change the just sort of the environment under which people choose to how they choose to eat. Again, I come at this from an environmental perspective.
Yeah.
In the sense that I feel it's beneficial to our kingdom, the animal kingdom, to grow grow a lot of plants, just for our breathing sense.
Yeah, I totally get that.
All that. But as far as I understand that there's a sort of animal rights bent or sort of attack to your eating and why you choose to eat certain things. And while I fully support all that, like I agree with not inducing any unneeded suffering in the world. Given that we understand that animals suffer, we don't know that plants suffer. If one day find out that plants do suffer, that still won't change the initial calculus of Veenies. Veenies are here to save the world
to wreak havoc on the plant kingdom
and to defend the animal kingdom from the plant kingdom. Because I don't know if you've met a plant, they don't care.
I live with
They don't give a fuck about you. They surely don't care about tomorrow for you. They don't care if you're suffering, if your daughter is suffering, or if your mother is suffering, or if your uncle is suffering. They don't care. They will eat your dead uncle. They will eat your uncle. If he's available, they will consume it. Have you ever met an ivy plant? Have you ever met a weed?
Yeah.
They don't care. They're taking over.
It's true.
We must defend the animal just domain on the planet. We at least have to get parity. Like we have to make sure that we're on some sort of balanced playing field so we survive. Like I do believe that, selfishly as a human, the humans should survive.
Amen.
And part of that is defending ourselves against the plant kingdom.
Amen, brother.
I know.
Kill us if we let. So.
God, you're going full mind comp.
I know one thing. Here. If I don't water my wife's fern, that joker gonna die, and I'm gonna talk shit to it. Like, yeah, but you wish I would have watered your ass today, huh?
Dude, think about trees. Like, they don't move. Like, I'm still mad at that tree about Ryan Dunn and everything. Like, they don't move out for cars or nothing. Like,
right?
They don't care.
Move out of the way. And now they'll say now when you die, you can be cremated,
and a tree eats you,
right? I saw that.
Yeah, so now I'm gonna be that tree that fucks your ass up.
Cool with that. Like, I want a tree to eat my bones. Like that's whether I want it or not, that's what's gonna happen.
Embalm me with Roundup. I inject me full of Roundup. Put me in the field, dude. Let me dissolve into the environment, bro. Mess, you had a question or what? What's going on?
This is my defense of animals.
Hey, I hear you, bro. Dude, I think it's complicated. I think the world's cool.
Some dude made a comment because remember I told you that I was trying to let everybody know about this awesome live show we were doing.
Yeah.
It's some dude said, "How do I make sure I never see this annoying peckerhead again ever?" Talking about me. I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, Ching. On Instagram?
I'm an annoying peckerhead, man. Annoying peckerhead mess hall digs on a live show.
On Instagram, or did they comment on the
on
YouTube?
Instagram? Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, dude. Those people.
They're the best, man. They are the best.
The Instagram ad people are the ones that are.
They're my favorite, man.
I've never put out an ad on Instagram, but just going through them, it's like, oh yeah, I'm never doing this. Like, there's no way. It's like you're paying to get roasted. Why is this annoying
peckerhead on my newsfeed?
It's because they're looking at naked women, and so they get upset when they see something that's out of, like they don't want to see us. Are you kidding me? I'd be upset too.
This is the thing that kills me about YouTube, Instagram, just social media, man, is like everything AJ's talking about, we're talking about is like, this is the cycle. Like, this is like how you have to move up move your way into like reaching your ultimate goal is like you have to go through these lumps and get rejected and get, okay, rent's too high. I got to move. I got to hop on my motorcycle and leave town. I got to try this thing. I got to work for this guy. Like, these are the things that it takes, and nobody's willing to do that. You know what I mean? They're just like, no, I want my fame and fortune now with no work, no trials.
The journey is the fun part, man.
And the journey is where you learn, like failing is how you learn the most. You got to try, fail, go after your dreams and fail. Like all the things that I've tried to do in my life, man, and just failed miserably at. I look back and I'm like, at least I tried it, man.
Right, whatever. Did you die? No, good.
Yeah, I didn't die. I tried it though. Like I dipped my toes in the water at least to see what the market was like, and it didn't work out. Like even my YouTube channel is an ultimate epic failure. Like,
you're still in your first year, man.
It's gonna take me 16 years to get where I want to be.
Until you spend money on like,
and I don't care though, but I don't care because we're having a good time, we're hanging out. And like the couple people that do pay attention and follow, that's what matters, man. What matters is the couple people are like, oh, okay, I see what it takes. I see what these guys are doing. There's a lot of people out there that think, they see Chef Ramsay or Bobby Flay or Robert Irvine on Food Network and like, oh, I want to be a chef. I want to do that. I want to be a celebrity. Like, it doesn't work that way, man. It doesn't. You got to catch a break. You got to get noticed or seen. You got to, like, even Gordon Ramsay went through the ringer, man. He went through the crap. My hero went through the crap to get to where he was at. Yeah. And that's why I wanted to bring Chef AJ on to show you that it takes a lot of different steps to finally.
Worked for Marco Pierre White? No.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Okay.
He was one of Marco Pierre White's guys. But you got to try all these different things, Culinary Institute of America, try Boston, try Denver, try being a professional poker player for a little bit, working for the best chef in the world and being like, nah, I'm going to go to DC now. Like, it's a process, man. Everybody has to understand that everything you want to accomplish in life is a process, and you have to try all these different things, knock on all the doors, and just try to see where you fit in. And the best thing about it is, I know me and AJ are in our 40s now. babarenz, you got time, bro. Bobby B, you got time.
I feel
you 50, got time to figure it out.
Don't tell me that.
Don't get mad.
I don't want the time.
Oh, you got so much time left.
Hell no. I want one foot in the door already.
I'm still figuring it out. Like, yeah, I retired from the military, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing next. Like, I'm still trying to figure it out. And then AJ's thinking about what's the next step? What's the next thing? Like, he's talking about, okay, we're going to do Polish sausages next. We're going to do this. And it's an endless road he can travel down. But it takes work. It takes time. It takes passion.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is people understand is it takes work to get to where you want to be, man.
Yeah.
Scrotum Phillips says, I told you Scrotum was going to be in here. That's my boy.
Yeah,
Scrotum in the house.
Thank you for the sub, Scrotum.
Only a dude named Scrotum would follow me.
It's Scrotum,
of course.
Right?
Scrotum.
Yeah.
But he says people have forgotten what it's like to be punched in the face for disrespecting others. Yeah,
I think it depends.
That's the thing about haters, though. I mean, it's awesome. These keyboard warriors. They can say whatever they want. But if they ever saw me in person, they would probably second guess their decisions.
My whole thing, unless
AJ can attest, I am a pretty big dude, man. He can attest to that.
Yeah,
I'm a big, huge dude, and I guarantee you, no one would say that shit to my face. But
I was thinking about that the other day, man.
To punch someone in the face would be you.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's right, man.
How big are you, Master? Are you like 6'1", 6'2"?
I'm 6'3", 270. 6'3", 270.
I mean,
you're slim down, man. You're slim.
I'm slim now. Yeah,
You're 6'3" now. What the frick? I'm like, I'm a staggering 5'7", bro.
Yeah, hey. But you make a mean hot sauce. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I mean, I always put that on dating profiles, and girls still like it, so it's whatever.
I still remember
run with it.
And I'll tell you what, man. Chef AJ has a hell of a jump shot too, man. We used to play basketball all the time back at Bragg. He's an athlete, man. We played. Remember the Army Navy game, dude? At Katrina.
Brilliant.
What'd you score? I was the quarterback. You scored like what?
Montana to Rice.
Huh?
Montana to Rice.
Yeah, I was throwing touchdowns to AJ all day against some Navy guys,
Nice.
man. It was
Chingo.
insanity, bro. All right, so we're at about an hour and a half. I want to end this thing. We'll end on a good note. But I want everyone to know where they can find Chef AJ, his products, his awesome beanies. I can attest. I've had them. I got a care package sent to me. It arrived beautifully. We cooked them up in the culinary lab. We did all kinds of cool things. We actually made a ravioli with one of them.
Did you?
Yeah, so we made a ravioli with like it was almost like a tomato consomme ravioli with this. It wasn't the Italian, it was the other one. It was the buffalo one. We made a buffalo ravioli with a tomato, like a tomato bisque type thing.
Okay.
We made an Italian omelet dish.
Right.
And then the Jamaican one, we just ate plain like you do.
Nice.
A hot dog bun with like cabbage and stuff. And we just devoured those things. That was the best thing. We just ate them all. We didn't have a chance to experiment with them because we ate them all. Because they were so good. So, where can they find you? What's the best place to find you?
On the series of tubes, www.justajsfoods.com. AJ with an S and foods with an S. JUSTAJSFOODS.com.
Just
everything's on there.
.com. What about Instagram?
Links, some patties, some burgers, some soups, some chilies. What else we got? Oh, we got the loose stuff too.
What about Instagram? You're just AJ's on Instagram too?
Just AJ's Foods on Instagram too.
Just AJ's Foods on Instagram.
Just AJ's Foods. Yep.
All right.
We're out there. Mostly in the DMV, but hey, we ship too.
Nice. Order some.
Yeah, you got to order some, man. Yeah. I'm telling you, we got
ourselves the Uber and Uber Eats and DoorDash and all that jazz.
You doing all that too now?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh man.
Nice.
You can get yourself a Hawaiian burger.
You got Hawaiian burgers now?
Yeah, that's the buffalo with a ginger teriyaki glaze. You got a spicy peanut sauce and some pineapple.
Oh man.
On top. Wow. A pineapple bun. Yep. Sorry, a pumpkin. Potato bun.
Potato bun.
It's pretty good.
Dude, I made a spicy,
crunchy. Yep.
I made a spicy peanut sauce for some Brussels sprouts one time.
Oh yeah.
About 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And I bumped into somebody. They were like, "You're the Brussels sprout guy."
Nice.
Like he remembered that shit from 10 years ago. I'm like, yeah. He's like, you put that spicy peanut buttery type sauce on the Brussels sprouts to the defect. I remember that. I was like, yeah, that was me, dude.
Nice.
Yeah,
awesome.
I went to Momofuku in New York, and they brought Brussels sprouts back for me. Like I hadn't eaten them since childhood. Like my mom made some like crappy steamed,
fantastic
Brussels sprouts that smelled like cabbage and tasted mushy and whatever. I never liked Brussels sprouts. Then some random Momofuku in New York went there. They had that puffed rice, crunchy, fried up Brussels sprouts, delicious.
Yeah,
that was at Momofuku.
Yeah, I think and
David Chang's restaurant.
Yeah.
Wow, you have to go there, man.
Yeah, I've been to a bunch of his stuff. Yeah, he's good.
You didn't get the pork buns. You get the pork buns when you're there?
Oh yeah. Pretty much like if I'm going to a restaurant that's like has any kind of skill level. I mean, I'm just ordering the menu.
Yeah.
Just give me everything.
You have to.
Give me it all. This is what I work for, so I'll save my money for food.
I'm gonna tell you, I stole David Chang's his coffee mayonnaise. Have you ever tried that?
I don't think so.
So David Chang has a recipe for coffee mayonnaise.
That sounds delicious, though. I'm stealing it already.
I'm not like that. I'm not liking those.
It's his version of like the red eye gravy.
Fat and butter. Fat and bitter. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've heard of the red eye gravy with ham, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he does a like a charcuterie board with just different types of hams, and he serves it with a coffee mayonnaise.
Yep, I dig it.
And we did the coffee mayonnaise for a competition. We had like a ham course. It was like a ham biscuit course with the coffee mayonnaise. And I was like, it was awesome, man.
Yeah.
Like, it just works, man. It just works somehow.
Instantly, it makes sense. Like, it makes sense. Like,
it does, you know?
Yep.
All right, Bobby B, what you got, man? Any last words?
Shoot. No, I just had a big old yawn. I forgot. I was going to say, I was totally going to say something or ask something. I can't even remember now. But that means it wasn't important.
Oh, no, it doesn't. It can mean anything.
No, come on. It's important, man.
Could mean you smoke a lot of weed. I don't know.
What was that?
I said it could just mean you smoke a lot of weed. I don't know.
I thought I heard something like that. I was like, yo, this guy knows too much about my life.
Right. Hey, listen. This is I moved to Denver in 2015. I moved to Vegas in 2016, 17, and D.C. in 2018. What do all those have in common? Those are the years they legalized weed in each one of those.
Yeah. I saw the pattern there.
It wasn't on purpose, but it was very kind of conveniently worked out.
Yeah, I moved to Washington back in 2015, Seattle, Redmond.
Yeah, Denver and Seattle was the same timeline. Yep.
So I was pretty enjoying myself up there, but I still find ways to enjoy myself here in Texas.
Oh well, Texas is sneaky, man. This is a felony still.
Yeah, so it's a good thing I don't break any laws. I'm a law-abiding
citizen. Yeah, no,
law-abiding citizens. That's what we all are.
Texas.
Real quick, do you have any spooky ghost stories from being on a motorcycle in the road or anything like that? I'm always curious about this.
Well, what do you mean by ghost stories?
Like any spooky paranormal? Because Mess, I've been meaning to tell you about a story that I think. Did I ever tell you? I don't even want to get into it right now. It's too long.
No, it's too late. You brought it up. We gotta talk about it because that's our thing. That's me and Bobby D's thing. We always talk about ghosts, man.
I'll make this one quick. But basically, growing up, like I said, I live in a small town full of Mexicans. Where mostly like everyone, like my actual name is Rene Flores. Like, well, I don't expect anyone to be able to pronounce my first name or anything. And basically, my friend, we would always go to his house sophomore year in high school. We started hearing like an animal scream or whatever, and it sounded like I guess like a farm or like a goat someone had in their backyard with an infection, you know, Lord knows they don't take care of animals out here. And eventually the screaming started to progress, and no lie, it actually started to sound more like have you ever heard a deaf mute person try to speak? Oh, right. They speak very muddled, and it started to sound like that's what it was. And it went on for about like 2 weeks. And me and my friend were kind of like, do your parents like hear this? Because like it wasn't just in the middle of the day. It would start happening in the middle of the night. And his father was kind of like, his father's like literally got really into drugs to where he's completely like on the streets now. But at the time he was very like on edge, and his father you just randomly hear him in the middle of the night, just shut the hell up, because he was hearing it and it was driving his whole family crazy. They called the cops. The cops went to the house and everything. And there was just an old Mexican couple, according to them, and they didn't have anything. And we went to the back one day and we literally saw like a cage, like I guess like a chicken wire, but it was boarded up. And as we got closer, like the screaming altogether stopped. And till this day, like eventually those people moved out, but till this day, like I have to wonder, like, did I spend a good month there, like at my friend's house, while like there was a mentally handicapped person like caged up and like literally we can touch it from the chain link fence? You know what I mean? Like weird stuff. Or was it a ghost? Regardless, I don't like either one of those answers.
100% ghost.
100%.
Yeah, well, because I've heard of Mexican people who are like, oh yeah, my cousin got cursed and he's going crazy, so I chained him up outside. And I'm like, what? It's like, are you sure he doesn't have schizophrenia? And it just like, have you gone to a doctor? You know, like
chained him up in the backyard. Yeah,
they'll think it's a curse. I'm not even playing. Like I've read stories about it. Like we're that close to Mexico where people think like that. Like it's crazy.
I mean, they may not be wrong, but they check a doctor first.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like. But yeah, so I guess I was just wondering if you have any weird, like, you know, because for me, for example, even though I think most paranormal stuff is explainable, but whenever I do like long road trips, I'm not going to lie, I kind of become like a little B word where my peripherals are like, oh man, any second now I'm going to see a lady in a white dress come scream at my window or something.
So a good one is driving from I-70.
Yeah.
So I drove from Boston to Denver, and then I drove from Vegas to D.C.
Okay.
Both times, a big portion of that is on I-70, straight through Kansas. So if you drive through Kansas, I think it's on like the western half of Kansas, like at night on the highway, you know it's flat and
I've been through that. I'm pretty sure I have a good idea.
And you go and you go and you go, and then you see all of these. You just end up like all these little red dots, just like appear. Like first, it's like 1, 2, 3. You see them ahead of you, pitch black. You just like, what is this? And then there's more, like 10, 20, 100, 1,000. You get into this spot, and you're just surrounded by red dots. They're just lights, red eyes everywhere. It looks like an alien invasion. It looks like the Earth is being invaded. All these, you're just surrounded by flashing red lights, like thousands of them. And you just go.
And you stopped in the middle of this to be like, this.
Keep going. Like no, you're already flying. You're in the middle of nowhere. It's all just farm, flat, nothingness. You go through it. Boom. So I keep going. Like what the fuck just happened? Like what was that? I have no idea. Get to Vegas, whatever. Meet some people, make some friends. Like start talking about it. Like what was that? Like I don't know. Sounds crazy. Come back. Go east from Vegas to DC. I do in the daytime. I go through. It's all windmills.
Oh,
it's a wind farm. So it's like but it's insane. It looks like
I know. Yeah,
it seems insane. I've never seen it, and you're just like surrounded.
That's gold,
windmill, dude.
So
windmill. That we have a lot of
paranormal activity is probably somewhere in that.
Nice.
Reality.
That's awesome. That's
all right.
awesome.
So I got one last test.
Yeah.
One last test, Chef AJ. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Are you listening closely?
Probably not.
Listen closely. What does this sound?
What, me playing you in poker?
Did you hear it?
Is that me raking?
No, so here's my mouse pad. This is my mouse pad.
Oh. What is it?
And I have poker chips.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was clearly.
Yeah. He got it. He's not.
Me collecting.
It's still
really...
the dream. It's still the dream I'm holding on to. It's the one dream that I still have.
I say all that. My life record against this man is like 1 in 5,000. Like, this is a guy who put on he had like, we played each other heads up. He had like one, not even a blind left. And he won what?
Nice.
8 hands in a row to just take me, and like it just fucked me up in the head. Like
The crazy thing is like this is the crazy thing is
destroyed me.
AJ's superiorly better than me at poker. It's just a fact. He's so much better than I am. But for some reason he cannot beat me. Heads up. I don't understand. There's no logic in it. I don't know. It's because he can't read me. I don't know what it is, but I watched this man just destroy people's lives over the years.
Nice.
Destroy them, send them back to mama crying. But when me and him sit down head to head, he cannot beat me.
That's awesome, though. I love hearing stuff like that.
All right, so that's it. I want to end it on that. AJ, last words, man. This is it.
What?
Nothing?
I said you don't want to cover the Jack Deuce?
Oh, you want to talk about Jack Deuce?
You want to tell the Jack Deuce story?
Tell the Jack Deuce.
No, I don't
12 minutes away from 2 hours.
Poker story. Nobody but me and you cares about this story.
No, let's tell it. Let's tell the Jack Deuce story.
It was Jack Deuce.
Are you familiar with poker, Bobby B? You play poker before?
No. This is not.
You ain't watched it on TV or nothing?
Dude, that's like... That's old people shit.
Yeah,
old people shit.
Dude, no one like in my generation does like a lot of like card games.
All right,
like,
we'll save that story for another time.
Whatever. We'll save it for the next shot.
Hey, I say AJ, bring him back sometime. It's freaking great talking to you, man.
Yeah, this
was a blast, dude. Like I had a blast. I know we didn't have a whole lot of love in the chat. Scrotum showed up like I knew he would.
I didn't really.
I had a blast. I'm
Gotta
sure
start
we'll
somewhere.
I'm sure people will find us in the rerun. But like I said, AJ, Chef AJ's on Instagram. Just look at Just AJ's food. You'll find him. Babarenz, plug. What you got?
Nothing. Don't look me up.
Nothing,
I have like 3 Instagrams. 2 of them are from like previous mental breakdowns. So if you're gonna look me up, I guess it's babarenz _ That's gonna be my current self before I probably abandon this Instagram. So we'll see what's up.
All right, and I'll mess all digs. The purpose of this whole live show is to talk to people from all walks of life, so we can learn something from everybody.
I'm not learning anything.
Nothing.
I learned a lot from just AJ's foods, bro. I learned a lot. And to the person that called me a peckerhead, I appreciate you. I still love you anyway. Haters got that magic keyboard warriors in the house. I love it.
Hey, I talk smack online, so I can't say anything. There's content I see on YouTube I don't like, and I'll tell them in a way where it's true, so they know that I'm not just messing around.
All right, and that's it. We're gonna end this live show.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.
Appreciate it.
I'm gonna keep my hands up until it's gone.